Hello and welcome to the video wherein we do chaos, or get chaos I suppose. Unfortunately a null was just cast on me. Right when I started the video you might have seen in the top left combat log there, I don't know. But in order to do chaos you must have the 3 medallions. That is a separate video. The video title is The 3 Medallions, with probably a side quest in there somewhere. You must also defeat 2 bosses. The bosses themselves are approximately level 45 to 50. You could probably take on those bosses. But Chaos is a much higher level recommendation at somewhere around 60 for numerous reasons that we'll talk about when we get there. But the first boss is here, second boss is there. You can see where the bosses are because they're zone transfer lines that I haven't been through. And Chaos, of course, is right there in the Cloister of the Highborn. Now, I think in the original version, these were all called cloisters and not halls, but I could be mistaken. Or maybe they were all called halls and not cloisters. Don't really know, it's irrelevant. Either way, a medallion would fit neatly in the depression. We, of course, have obtained the medallion already. It will open a fancy door, which leads to another door, which opens slightly later, somehow witchcraft powered. Don't really know what causes these doors to open, presumably magic. Now do bear in mind there is no save point inside the Necrohol of Nabudis, so if you have trouble with the first 2 bosses, you should probably save before you do Chaos. So here is our first boss that we will be fighting. Our first boss is called Fury. It is this thing. It's a rather annoying creature. It's probably the easier of the 2 because you can abuse the fact that it will permanently try and have Berserk on itself after, I think, 50% health. It will, however, give itself like 80 bajillion things. It is also immune to oil, so we should probably fix our gambits here. Remove the oil for now because they'll just spend 800 years trying to cast oil on something that is immune to oil. So we'll just physically attack it. Now the problem with this particular fight is that it has a very, very high parry rate. You might have noticed this. It gets even higher when its HP is critical, so we're actually just going to speed it up. It does cause stop, unfortunately. Which the only way I have to deal with is, if I can find them, Chronosteer. They're of course all the way at the freaking top. Why wouldn't they be? You can use a gun against this boss. In fact, I would recommend using a gun against this boss because guns cannot be dodged. In fact, I think it's the only weapon type that can't be dodged, but... So there's Hero's March, which means, yep, it has reached the point of HP where it will start using Bachu's Wine on itself, which will make it Berserk, which increases attack speed and attack damage. Every time you dispel it, it will use another one. You can use this to your advantage by constantly dispelling it, which causes it to spend all of its time using Wine on itself. It's actually rather comical. It's almost dead. There we go. When it reaches critical, it gets a defense up. I think that's all it gets. It also cries. How sad. It just wanted to live its life and we showed up and murdered it and now it's sad. Who's the devil now? Again, these first 2 bosses are intended for about 45 to 50. You could probably do Chaos at that level, but I would be worried about it for numerous reasons. But the 2 bosses before Chaos you could probably do at a level appropriate for the zone, which is fair enough. So the lustreless medallion has reacted. Go ahead and pick up this treasure real quick. It's a golden axe. That's a game. Alright, so We're gonna have to refloat ourselves so we don't trigger a bunch of traps while we wander through. I hate how long it takes these doors to open. Thankfully, you only have to do it 6 times, I guess. 2 for each boss. So, Penelo, time magic, float. I would recommend having float just in general for Nabudis because there's so many traps, but I feel like that damage. Alright. Let's make our way. We've removed our oil, so they're gonna use physical attacks to kill these dudes, which isn't a problem. Just thought I'd point that out. We're gonna leave the oil thing off just because otherwise they're just gonna spend all that time trying to cast oil on enemies and not do anything. Because we're gonna have to do bosses, and bosses again are immune to oil. Not all bosses, just most bosses. The vast majority of them. You know what, actually I have no desire to fight these enemies, so we're just gonna do this. I was gonna be real sad. Oh, there goes Float. Float wore off while we were stepping over those. Instead, it wore off while Penelo was stepping over them. Let everyone buff up again real quick. Here we go. We will have to adjust our gambits a little bit for Chaos because of how Chaos is set up. We also have to fight these things. Hello, friend. I don't know why there's so many guarding this one and none guarding the other one, but it's alright. So here we are. We'll use the Medallion of Bravery to open this door. Now this boss is harder than Fury, simply because of the damage output that the boss has. Fury just pisses you off by parrying everything and not doing much else. But this guy gets a scaling attack increase as his HP goes down until eventually his damage caps out at 6,999 damage per hit. He also really likes to combo. Preferably you would have lure on someone, like Ash in this case, to keep your healer from getting assassinated, but we should be able to do this without worry, because we are over-leveled, to be fair. Apart from his increasing attack as his HP drops, he doesn't really do too much. He combos a lot, he hits, that's basically his entire rotation. He apparently knows Protect. He's also apparently weak to Holy because Penelo keeps murdering him with Holy. Like 25,000 damage per hit. If I could speak English, it'd be good. So here you can see his damage is ramping up. He's still not doing any combos, which is surprising. He's getting wrecked by Holy though. It looks like he has attack CT0 now. There's a counter, which means he doesn't have CT0 because it's physically impossible to counter, I think, if you have CT0. But here's his critical health. He's still not really doing much, but his damage does scale up. We just have really good armor. And Protect. You should always have Protect in that fight, because otherwise bad things happen. Yes, that's how it dies. So the other one cries. This one turns tiny and gets squished by its own sword. And it squeaks in the process. Chaos, on the other hand, is just chaos. He exists to murder. Congratulations! Again, Chaos is a full-blown Esper encounter meant for like level 60. You also get a map of the Necrohol of Nabudis when you fight this guy. I don't really know why you would need that, but there you go. The treasure? There he is. Yeah, casting buffs on each other and stuff, I know. Look, man. A Scathe moat. Well, it's not particularly important. So Chaos has all of the traditional innates that most bosses have. He also has a 0 MP, full HP attack plus, low HP defense plus, and HP attack. Full HP attack plus means you should hit him at the start of the fight, otherwise he's going to murder somebody. It's a 20% attack bonus at full HP, which makes his attack very high at the start of the fight, but any damage drops that off. The HP attack doubles attack, which makes it very high, as one might suspect. However, please stop casting Annul. For the love of God, kill it. There's a reason I want this thing to die before it casts Annul. I don't care about anything else, just Annul. There we go. When its HP drops below 50%, go this way. I always forget that route. When its HP drops below 50%, it gets Ignore Evade and a normal damage plus, which is just a physical damage buff. And then when it gets Enrage, it has the traditional attack CT0 that most enemies get when they cast Enrage. I think I can go ahead and show you the medallion as well, because it should have changed. Oh, it is this one. Magic energies ebb and flow within. I forgot what it was called for a second if you're curious what I was doing there. Now the biggest problem with Chaos, and you will need a magic party because of this, is that the attack command is sealed during this boss fight. What that means is that you can only use magic or items, or techniques for that matter, to deal damage to the boss. It is going to be vastly easier to use magic to do so. However, if you have some good techniques, you can utilize those, or you can utilize Sight Unseeing. Oh god. I'll have to edit that out. Sight Unseeing is, sorry, pulled my earbuds out if you're curious. Sight Unseeing is a technique, which means it is usable. It is a normal attack, though, but it is only usable while blind, so you can set your party up to be permanently blinded and then just use Sight Unseeing to deal damage. I'm just going to use magics. I'm also going to fix my equipment because we're going to need, excuse me, immunity to probably confuse. Oh, an immunity to disable. Let's make Ash immune to... We don't need this because he ignores parry anyway. It ignores evade, sorry. What do we want to be immune to for this fight? Probably just disable, because that's probably the one most likely to be afflicted upon us. There's another one that makes us immune to disable somewhere in here. So I've already passed over it, which is entirely possible. Yeah, we'll just use black belt, whatever. So I have a black belt for her, a black belt for Penelo. And then Fran here is going to have our ribbon, which will make her immune to, I think, every status ailment in this fight. He will also cause confusion in the fight. He will also use Firga in the fight and silence. I think that's all he can use. I think that's it. So the big problem is going to be confusion, but we should be able to pick our party up fast enough to get away from that without dying horrifically. So we're going to wait to reapply all our buffs because Bubble should be wearing off of, I think, everyone but Fran. Yeah. Examine the depression and use the Medallion of Might. I forgot to adjust our gambits before we came in here, but I can just do that when we're in here. He is immune to oil, I'm pretty sure. I could quickly check, actually. Yeah, he's immune to oil, unfortunately. He takes bonus earth damage. Whatever, we don't have that. And he takes, or he's healed by wind. This is the wind Esper, of course. Say hello to Chaos. As you can see, we cannot attack. We can still use techniques though. So Sight Unseeing right there. Or Souleater or stuff like that. I wonder how much damage a Souleater does. Not sure, we could test that in a second, but we're gonna adjust our gambits so that instead of attack, we have some sort of spell. In her case, we're probably just gonna use... Just use Fire Aga, I guess. And in Ash's case, we're going. Oh, in Ash's case, we're gonna use Flare. I think is what she has. Indeed, it is. She doesn't have Scathe or anything, unfortunately. What we can do though to start this fight off with, though, is use Toxify. I think, or we'll just use Bio. It doesn't really matter. Does Dispel remove that? I don't think it does. Wait, are you immune to that now? Oh, she's silenced now, so that's kind of null and void. These little dudes need to die first, obviously. Because otherwise we're never going to get anywhere, because they're just going to constantly silence us. There we go, one down. This thing's getting healed, but it should die. There we go. So now all that's left is this dude, who is currently being hit with something that he is immune to. He's apparently immune to Dispel. What? Why is he... No, he's not immune to Dispel. He's immune to Fire. Right. Forgot about that. So I don't think she actually has anything she can do to him. Unless we want to use Aqua, but that's awful. We don't have Scathe, so we can't really use that. I think Fran's just useless in this fight. So all of our damage is going to end up coming from Ash here. Everyone else is just going to stand around. At least this will give us plenty of time to show off what Chaos does. He does Eroga, which is a decent chunk of damage, and Whirlwind, which is not very much damage at all, as you can see. He also attacks. He can be afflicted with slow as well if you so desire. He might have been used in Raged, I'm not sure. I haven't been paying attention. And you can't tell, but his normal attacks can inflict Disable, and his special attack can inflict Confusion. So that's really the big thing with this fight. If you inflict Sap on him, it's a decent chunk of damage over the fight, especially if you don't have anything you can do, like Fran here. Oh, she does have Souleater. Let's figure out what Souleater does. Actually, we could use Achilles. Is he immune to Achilles? He is immune to it. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? We could do Shear. Is he immune to Shear? Does not appear to be immune to Shear. Well, actually, it hasn't gone off yet because he's casting Erosion. This is his special attack. It is wind damage, so you can wear wind elemental clothing to mitigate it, but it does also cause the confusion status, which causes your people to run around like idiots because they cannot attack. They just do that. Ash has no MP. This is a problem. Just do this forever. Fran, did you actually use Shear? I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. 9399. I think you can stack these 5 times. I'll cast Faith. If you're gonna cast Faith, do it on yourself. And yeah, that is actually doing something. If not much. What does Souleater do? 4,000 damage for 2,000 a year health. Well, by golly, you may as well just be doing that because you ain't got anything else to do. Where's Souleater? There it is. So that at least she's doing damage. I mean, it is slowly killing her, but you know, especially when Ashe keeps losing her MP, this is really all we've got. I could have Ashe do Souleater instead of casting magic constantly, because he's gonna keep using Fear Gun. It's gonna continue annoying me. He's also gonna continue using Erosia, which is going to continue annoying me. He should still be afflicted with sap though, so our damage should still be going out if slowly. Oh, no one got afflicted with it. Nice. Thankfully, she does get MP from casting magic on things, which means once she starts casting magic, she has unlimited MP, you've probably noticed. It's just getting her to the point that she has the MP to cast. So, well, there's Enrage, so now he should have attack CT0. He does indeed, as you can see by the fact that he casts instantly. He also attacks instantly. Essentially, attack CT0 is a better haste, as you can see. I can't believe you actually did this to me, Chaos. I can't believe you've done this. Oh, off we go. Oh, we're back. Hello. Take that, fiend. So there you go. If you don't have a good magic capable group, you can try and use techniques and just tank through the damage, especially if you're using Souleater. You're going to end up probably killing yourself at some point. But, you know, otherwise, if you've got capable non-physical attackers, then this fight should be okay. Just have to make sure you have at least somebody in your party immune to stop. Or sorry, disable, not stop. Preferably the person with lure on them. I didn't use lure, I'd recommend using lure. Put lure on someone and then make that person immune to disable, and you don't need to worry about his auto attacks ruining your life, because they are capable of doing it. But anyway, there you go. There's Chaos, Walker of the Wheel. Is there a chest in Chaos's room? There is not a chest in his room. Oh wait, there is. Way back here though. Ow. Okay, I'd like to open the chest, thank you. It is a Mega Elixir. There you go, there's 2 of those in the game, apparently. I guess. But anyway, that's it. That's Chaos. The next Esper we have is Ultima, I think? Yeah, Ultima and then Zodiac, and those are the final 2 Espers available in the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.